Welcome back to Bluegrass basketball. It's our 11th week of the podcast. We're getting ready for the state tournament. Everybody's excited. We have Coach Scott Chalk with us today. He's going to talk a little bit about the All-Star game. And, of course, this is John Moore, and I'm Kayla. You know what I'm saying?
There's 3 state champions in this room, and you just throwing that out there.
Sorry. John Western got beat by Marshall yesterday.
I know.
Boy. They're wearing green today.
So you want to, Kelly green's not my favorite color anyway, so.
Go Celtics. Anyway.
Yeah. Tell us about the All-Star game. You made some changes about tryouts, all that good stuff. So if you want to just go into your details.
In trying to kind of keep it going and revive a little bit the tradition of the Kentucky Indiana All-Star game, we brought back the tryouts, which haven't been happening for the past couple of years. So we've got that going again. April 14th will be the tryouts here in Lexington. The boys' tryout will be at Dunbar High School. The girls will try out the same time, same day at Lexington Catholic. Right. And then as a part of the tryouts, we'll have 2 sessions, a morning and afternoon session, and as a part of the tryouts, all those players that are at the tryouts will have the opportunity to participate as the last part of it in the KABC East-West All-Star game that night at Transy. Girls at 5:30, boys at 7:30. So that, hopefully, if that goes well, which we're excited about, I think it's going to be a big boost for the whole day. It'll be a fun day of basketball for the players, and for fans and parents to really see it. So we're excited about how that'll go, and then the committees will then, get together and hash it out and choose the teams and announce it, or contact the players on Sunday-ish.
I think it's needed to take a different direction for a while anyway, because it's kind of, the attendances went down. It's not been real enthusiastic about it lately, so I'm just kind of excited to see where the KABC can take it.
Yeah, and then the game, we're going to play in working with Indiana, with Charlie Hall, the game director in Indiana. We've got it worked out to where we're going to play the Kentucky game on Friday night, June 8th. Okay. And so it'll be Friday night, June 8th at Bellarmine this year.
Which is a great venue.
Yeah, great venue. They have a video board. They've got a lot of updates since we played there last time, so it'll be really a nice atmosphere. We're hoping to pack the place, seats 3,500 or so. We're hoping to sell it out if we can and pack it for the game this year. And then Saturday we'll play in Indianapolis after that. So it should be a really good weekend of basketball. One other thing we're also doing this year is we're bringing back the Junior All-Stars. Okay. And so the week before, June 1st and 2nd, we will actually play flip-flop schedule. We'll play in Indiana, Southern Indiana, someplace on Friday night. And then Saturday night we'll play probably somewhere in the Louisville area. We haven't decided a site yet.
How many years have they not done the Junior All-Stars?
They only did it for a couple of years, and then the last few it kind of died away, and that was really when, somebody kind of took over running the game that was trying to cut costs, and they basically just cut it because they wanted to save money. I mean, I can't sugarcoat it any other way. That's what they did, and so we're going to we won't have them, we'll try to figure out, we'll invite a group of juniors that we think have potential to be on that all-star team. That'll be our junior team. They'll practice maybe once or twice before they play that Friday, Saturday.
Well, having your juniors actually can help those kids that may be on the cusp of a Mr. and Miss basketball title, because more people get to see them. Sure. Get their name out there.
Yeah. Well, any time that you can get some of the best players in the state playing against some of the very best from another state and scrimmaging against the senior all-star team, it's a bonus for those players. Last year when we did it with the juniors, I knew they were good players, the guys that we end up inviting and everything like that. But there were 2 or 3 of those kids in that game that really got a couple that got a little bit exposed to the talent level, and 2 or 3 that, really played well and really opened some people's eyes who were involved in this thing. Like, that kid, he's really good. He's good, because they were playing against that competition that they don't play against every night out in the state, in their area, whatever it is. They don't get to play against that every time.
Well, I'm looking forward to it anyway, because last year was our first win on the boys' side in forever. What was it, like 17 years?
Yeah.
Been a while.
Yeah. So Tavion, helped carry us to that win. He did pretty good. I think that you guys are going to focus more on bringing back some of the old All-Stars and recognize them, try to get people, understanding who's played and, what they did after the All-Star game. So I think that it's going in the right direction.
The big thing to me is, and this is what I said to people last year, it just needs to be important to be a Kentucky All-Star.
Yeah.
And if it's important to be an all-star.
And it hasn't been for many years.
People will wanna do it, people will be excited about it, people will wanna see it, they'll wanna see what's going on, kids will wanna do it, but we've gotta start from, one thing we're doing also on our Friday that we have the game here, similar to what Indiana does, a little different, but kind of the thing, we're putting together a camp, clinic, whatever you wanna call it, for, future all-stars.
Mhm.
Be a middle school level camp, it's
That's a good
invitation
idea.
only,
Mhm.
we're bringing in the top 70 or 80 kids,
Mhm.
maybe 100, I don't know, it depends on how many we get
Right.
into Louisville,
Mhm.
and we're giving them a ticket for the game that night. After we have a camp with them that day, we'll have Derek Anderson's gonna come in and do a thing with them and do part of the camp. It should be really, we'll have, obviously, the all-stars, we'll work with them a little bit. We'll have the girls at one site and the boys at another site
That's
during
a
that
great
day,
idea.
and then invite them in for the game that night and give them a ticket. So we're trying to create an idea that, hey, this is what you should be trying to be. You should be trying to achieve this goal to be an all-star. So,
I think it's, at least I could tell last year when we went up to Indianapolis and watched, the people in Indiana, they still take that same amount of pride in being an all-star. And we don't have that around in Kentucky anymore. And I think if we get it back to that level, hopefully the game will continue to go on. Because I don't want to see it die. And I know that, it's been kind of on the brink there.
Well, I think the three of us and JR especially are committed to bringing the history of it back, trying to make it a big deal again. Because, the kids, they have to think that it's important in order for it to, gain attention and get people to show up for the game. So I think, this is step one. I don't think you're going to see improvement instantly, but starting with
Well,
tryouts is.
last year was also a big step in the fact
Yeah.
that the way, the experience
Mhm.
that the all-stars had from
Yeah.
the time after they were selected,
Mhm.
how they were contacted and handled, the day that they showed up to report for that week, what the items that we gave them, the
Mhm.
package that they had, and all the stuff they got, the gear, the way they were treated, what we did during the week and did some nice things with them and that kind of stuff. That made it, they were happy they came.
Right.
They were glad they were all-stars. They thought it was awesome. So
Yeah.
that's what it has to be. The experience
Mhm.
has to be such, and it's gotta be consistent.
Well, you got to be treated like
You
an
know?
all-star.
Right, and it's gotta be consistent. That's the thing. It's been inconsistent as to whether it was gonna be handled well or done well, or kids were gonna have this or not. It's always up in the air. So we're trying to put together a sponsored board
Right.
that will help raise some funds so that
Mhm.
we have a consistent fund
To pull.
basically to run the game
Yeah.
and the tryouts and everything year to year. So we're not constantly saying, I'm not really sure how we're gonna pay or if we're gonna do this or what we're gonna, it's just gotta be consistent so we can have, this is what we do every year. And the only way to do that is to have some, some funds on hand, and you have to set up some kind of a support system for it. So that's what I've tried to do over the last year, is to try to gather some sponsors that will be a part of a, I use the term board for lack of a better, they don't have a lot of responsibility. It's just a matter of providing some funding and committing to it, so year to year, we know that we're gonna
Kind
have
of just
some
like,
funding.
it's almost like boosters. but-
Sure, very similar.
Yeah. You guys have recently taken over the Kentucky All-Star Twitter, and we'd like to tell people now that you can follow it at KY All-Star Game. So definitely look that up, because JR Van Hoos is the one running that Twitter, and he is.
Ate up with the history of everything
Yes, he
in
is.
this world. So especially basketball.
Yeah, he's
doing a good job.
He's tagging our previous All-Stars and trying to bridge that gap, because we've lost connection with so many of them, and he's doing a great job. You're gonna have to check it out. 'Cause-
It's important when you
Yeah.
have people in those type of roles, someone who's not only a basketball aficionado,
Mhm.
but a historian.
Yeah.
And when you bring that together,
Yeah.
and then you have what you need to really get a
Yes.
quality product out there. So
I'm
really
biased, but I
excited
think that
about
he's got what it takes to make that a pretty good account to follow.
I think so.
For sure.
You got anything else you want to say?
If
Okay.
you have any questions for me, I'll be glad to answer them, but that's pretty much the synopsis how it's gonna be. I will say that I've had some calls and a lot of emails and some people asking, when's the list come out of who gets invited to the tryouts? And it'll be over the course of the next couple of weeks, we'll start contacting the kids
Yes.
through their coaches that they've been invited. And
So we're not gonna
and we'll
put out
the
a
list
list?
We will put the list
Oh.
out, but we're gonna contact also,
Okay.
we wanna contact them, because there's no sense putting the list out if somebody says, well, this kid's not interested, he's
Right.
playing baseball, or he's
Mhm.
whatever, he's not gonna play, so.
And
normally
we have
what
had
try to-
instances of that before.
Sure,
So.
and normally what we try to do is contact the players ahead of time and say, you've been invited,
Mhm.
and then eventually we'll release a list also to the public, but it's more important that the players get. And again, I think it's special,
Mhm.
that you get invited,
Yes.
you get an invite. You don't just,
Oh,
find
here
out
you're
on
on
some
the
list.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? I got to, that's kind of the process, and that's why we haven't really put anything out yet as far as just, here's the list, that kind of thing. And some people are conditioned to that kind of thing because that's the way it was done in the past, which really wasn't a very good way to do it.
Right.
You need to invite these. If you're gonna, if it's special and it's important, and only certain people are going to get invited,
Right.
then you should get an invitation.
Well, I know that any Hall of Fame that JR's been invited to attend or be part of, that you've got a handwritten nice little card that they mail to the house, and you feel like you're important.
Sure.
So even so much as a phone call,
Right, and
specifically
just,
to
and
you.
we'll send something to their coaches,
Yeah.
to them, because that's the only way. Obviously, they're kids; we don't know their
Right.
addresses, but it's getting to their coaches and having their coaches, take care of it, handle it, get to contact the kid and get information back to us and that kind of thing. So we
I
feel
think
like
that'd be
it's
great. And if you are a previous Kentucky All-Star, definitely get in touch with the Twitter account. That way we can put you on our list and make sure you're updated and, give them a shout out once in a while. So.
Yeah, we will have some special stuff planned to have all the former Mr. Basketballs and Miss Basketballs and former All-Stars back to the game and that kind of thing.
I called you yesterday about the one that was a starting offensive lineman for Seattle Seahawks. I bet most people don't know that.
George.
Yeah.
Yeah, George fan.
Yeah. So
He
that was a pretty
an
cool
All-Star,
find.
and he's now playing football, so.
Yeah. You never know.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Thanks for being on.
Okay. Thank you,
Coach,
guys.
thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's good to
thank
see you,
you,
buddy.
Mr.
It's great to see you.
Hey, you want to?
Yes.
All right, guys. I guess it's time now to talk about the Sweet 16 tournament. We'll kind of catch you up a little bit on the girls basketball tournament. Mercer County beat
Back
Mercy.
to back.
Yeah, back-to-back state champs.
Wasn't
so-
very. They ended up winning by 40 today.
Yeah, so it wasn't a crazy competitive game, but being in the state finals is a big deal anyway.
Yeah, I think going back to back, I know Sacred Heart did that a couple times with the girls,
Mm-hmm.
back in the day. We haven't had a boys team do it since Fairdale did it in the early 90s, so it's not an easy thing to accomplish.
No.
So congrats to Coach Souder and to those girls that their fourth straight trip to the state tournament.
He's
back
really
to
got
back.
a program there, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's going to lose a lot. They graduated their whole team basically,
Yeah.
all their starters, but I mean, he'll build it back up. But I think it's something worth talking about. That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, I think they've got a pretty good feeder system there, so I think you're
They
going to
do.
see.
Well, it's another one of those places where it's one school in the county. That
Yeah.
Harrisburg and Mercer County consolidated a couple of years.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably been about 10 or so years now. So now they have one high school. So they're going to continue to be, the class of the 12th region, and they've represented our state well. That I think it's impressive when a group of kids, boys, girls, whoever it is, they play together since they were younger, elementary, middle.
Well, anytime
now.
you can develop that chemistry,
It's impressive, and Sagan Robbins was named MVP for back-to-back years. She's
Pretty big deal.
maybe Miss Basketball. We'll find out
Maybe.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday we are having our annual Mr. and Miss Basketball dinner where they announce the winner, and they honor every region player of the year as well. So
Right.
it's really nice. If you don't have a ticket, they're not selling them anymore online, but you can get them at the door.
At the door, yeah. It's a great, you get a little meal, good
Yes.
atmosphere. I
The
see
dinner
a
is
lot of
always
people-
awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
really.
See a lot of people. It's my kickoff to the state tournament. As
Mine
it is
too.
yours. We always
Yes.
see each other there. So
It's
Looking
really
forward
just
to
kind
it.
of a, hey, your favorite week of the year's coming up, and I like it because as John's made fun of me before, I like to dress up. JR and I, we always match, so it's just like a big thing for me every year. I'd like to see more people out to it. You can meet past Mr. and Miss Basketballs. You can meet important people around the Lexington area. I mean,
around the state, a lot of people
Yeah.
come in for that. So.
media. I mean, anybody. You're looking at maybe getting some autographs. I met Wawa Jones there once, so
Yeah.
pretty cool. And I guess now we'll move on to kind of our preview for the boys state tournament that's going on this week. It starts Wednesday. I have the bracket here.
Yes.
First round game is
First game, first
Yes.
day. Corbin and Estill County.
Yeah.
How about Coach Bentley at Estill County?
I know that's big.
First time Estill County's ever made a state tournament.
I know, and he's really. How long has he been at Estill County?
He's been there a while now. I mean,
6,
if you
7
don't,
years?
yeah, he played at Hazard, played in the state tournament with Hazard, played at EKU.
Right.
Good guy. And I know I saw some videos on Twitter. They had a pep rally there at the school when they got back, and I think everybody, we talked all year, and I'll be the first one to admit, we talked about Perry and Knott all
Yes.
year long, and
But if you remember last week, though, I mentioned Estill maybe being a dark horse.
well, I
maybe.
think it helped them out. They got drawn on the opposite side.
Yes.
Perry and Knott had to play each other in the semis, and so then, but still, I think most people would have thought, well, Knott County got by Perry. They've gotten by what they need to get by. And it was a low scoring, 44-40, I believe was the finals in the region,
Yeah.
you know, so
So
congrats to them.
they just sat down and guarded them. I mean,
Right, and you know, so congrats on looking. It's always a good story when you see a first time, you
I
know,
love it.
member coming to the
Mhm.
state tournament, and they match up with Corbin. So we got our 13th, 14th mountain
Your
school,
mountain battle.
yeah. And Corbin's overcome a lot this year. They beat a good Knox Central team, you know, to win the 13th. I think a lot of people might have had them picked early in the year to
Yeah.
win it, and then as the season went on,
They kind of flattened out a little bit, and
Knox
Knox kind of
Central,
kept
yeah,
going.
but they beat them when they had to. So, and then they beat South Laurel in overtime, I believe, in the regional championship. And
They
I
did.
saw South Laurel, and I told you I thought they were a really good
Mhm.
team. So,
And they travel so well too.
Oh, they do.
It's hard to beat their sixth man, their student section, because they're crazy. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I think Corbin will bring a good crowd though to the game. So,
Yeah.
Corbin and Estill,
Well, mountain teams travel well.
they do.
They really just. It seems like they turn the lights off and leave.
Right.
So-
I'm gonna probably go with Corbin in that game. They
Yeah.
have, you know, coach at Corbin's been in the state tournament before. I
Yeah.
think Andrew Taylor, they've got the better player on the floor. I'm not gonna count out Estill. I think Caleb Bonnie's had a good year. He's a nice player. But
I would like to see Estill County win just because it's their first year.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind. I don't have a dog in that
They're-
fight either
no,
way.
me either.
so.
They're my Cinderella though. I'm kind of just
Yeah.
excited that they're there.
They're the
so.
Buckhorn this year.
Mhm.
They're that kind
They
of,
are.
you know, they're the team that really wasn't expected to be
Right.
there, and they're there. So, and then
Second game,
the second game, Wednesday, 1:30,
that's just going to be a murderous
Scott
game.
County Trinity. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, I think the winner of that game will be your favorite
Mhm.
to take home the state championship. Scott County, we've talked about them. They have one loss on the year, and it
And
was
it's
to
an
an
out-of-state
out-of-state team. They haven't lost to Kentucky team. And, you know, LCA gave them everything and more in the championship
Yes.
game. LCA missed a three, a really good look from a kid that shoots
At
about
the end.
48% from the
Could have
three
been a buzzer beater.
to win it. And
So I almost take my words from last week. Really, it was.
Yeah.
I was sweating it. It was close.
it was. And then Trinity, you know, they've got D1 talent all over the floor. You know, Coach Zabo has turned that program around since he's been there early 2000s. They've won a state championship. They've been to numerous.
You're talking about two teams that are always in the equation.
They are, and they're in the two toughest regions in the state.
I think
It's
it is
such
safe
a
to say
tough-
that the winner of that game will make a pretty deep run.
I
If
think
not
so.
win the whole thing.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't know. It's such a toss up to me. I
Yeah.
just don't really know who to go with.
Well, I'm in Scott County's camp because I have
Right.
that here. I'm just gonna stick with it.
Well,
so
then just for argument's sake.
you'll go
I'll go
Trinity.
with Trinity,
All right. So
yeah.
then we'll have something to boast about. Well, one of us will.
Right.
You know, kind of like I
Right.
have this shirt to boast about today.
Oh, here we freaking go. Lord.
All right. Second session of Wednesday night.
Yeah.
First game, Southwestern and Warren Central.
And Southwestern's a team.
That'll be a
Nobody
good game.
picked them to
I know,
win
but
that
that'll be a good
region.
game.
Did you see how that regional championship ended?
Yes.
Oh my gosh! If you didn't see, there was a loose ball with less than 5 seconds to go. Mercer
Heartbreaker.
County lost the ball. Southwestern picked it up. Kid went the length of the floor, finger rolled it in at the buzzer, and the place went nuts.
I would hate to lose a game that way.
Oh, I
I
couldn't
would almost
imagine.
rather get smacked in the mouth. You know what I mean? Like 20-point loss.
And Southwestern, to their credit, they were down 13 in the fourth quarter
Yeah.
and came back and won the game.
So we're seeing a state tournament without Trevin Faulkner this year, and I really didn't expect that to happen.
I didn't either.
So,
Well, if you would have told me that Mercer wasn't going to make it, I would have said, well, then Pulaski and Steve Fitzgerald got the job done. But Southwestern, you know, Coach Baker has done a good job, and you know, the thing is, they've lost some kids over the last couple of years,
Yeah.
graduation, and they've moved away and stuff. So, and that's an interesting matchup for me. Warren Central, we talked about them in Bowling Green, of course, met in the finals of the region
Right.
again. Skylar Potter, who's committed to Wright State, is a really, really good player. He's been
Yeah.
our player of the week before in
Yes,
the
he
past. A lot of people probably don't know who he is because they haven't seen him play. If you get a chance to see the kid play, he's a really good player. He's a double machine.
Yeah.
So
He's fundamental too.
He is.
I like him.
they're very well coached.
Mhm.
I'm going to go with Warren Central in that game. I think it'll be close, but I'm gonna give the edge to Warren Central.
I just think it'll be a good game to watch, but I'm with you. We don't hardly ever agree, but I'm going to say Warren Central wins that one as well. Second session,
Last game.
Last
This
game.
is tough for you. This is your region versus your favorite team all year.
listen,
Pikeville versus John Hardin.
I typically am one that pulls for the 15th region no matter what, okay? I'm not mad at Pikeville for beating Johnson Central. I'm really
Are
not.
you?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm really not mad because really, I'm going to say this. They outplayed Johnson Central. They really did. Johnson Central couldn't score. I mean, Pikeville just got the job done when it mattered.
Yeah.
And they earned the right to be there. But I love John Hardin. So
You've been on their bandwagon all year.
I know.
I can't say anything about it.
Right. So I don't think if anybody's listened to the podcast the last 10 weeks, they can't really say, "Oh, Kayla's just rooting against
Right.
Pikeville."
No.
No,
I can vouch for you on that.
I love John Harden. I'll be fine with either one that wins because it'd be cool to see Pikeville advance to the Elite Eight. But
I think
John Harden wins.
I'm gonna. It's tough for me because I think John Harden might be the more talented team.
Yeah.
But I can't take away anything from Pikeville because these guys, as a group, most of those guys were there last year and they have a little bit of experience. They're respected, and expectations are a funny thing. I think all year we talked that at the end of the year, Pikeville was the favorite to win the 15th region.
Well, and everybody kind of had slept on Johnson Central
right.
all year.
And then Floyd Central got a little bit of love. We talked about Johnson Central, we talked about Paintsville, but when it mattered, Pikeville
Paintsville made a deep run in the regional tournament too.
Yeah,
I mean, they did better than anybody thought.
So,
everybody is so young in the 15th.
I think it'll be a better game than people expect. 'Cause if you haven't seen John Harden play, they're really good. They're athletic. Mickey Pearson going to St. Louis.
He's unreal.
He's really, really good. And so I'm going to give the edge. I think John Harden will move on, but I think it'll be a closer game than people expect.
I think so too. And I think it's going to depend on not White Battle from Pikeville, but Cade Byers, because he's been dealing with like a wrist injury.
Right.
And you can tell it's affecting his play.
Well, I think the people will look at the teams when they come out on the floor and they'll be like, well, this is going to be a runaway for John Harden. And the 15th, and this is no disrespect, but people don't, except for the year when Shelby Valley recently and then Paintsville back in the day, these teams they come in from the 15th and they just kind of get
automatically the underdog.
Yeah. So, but I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a game that's decided in the last part of the fourth quarter.
White Battle is a really good player.
Oh, he's just a great athlete.
Yeah, he is.
He's a good football player too. So.
Well, he chose not to play football his senior year, I think.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
But he's a fantastic athlete. He's a smart player. I think you'll see him do things that he wouldn't normally do because he's at the state tournament. He's been there before.
Right.
He'll just take over, I believe.
Yeah.
So while I do believe John Harden will win, and I'd like for it to happen because I love them so much all year, Pikeville's going to make some noise, and they'll travel well too. Because it's an independent school in Pike County, which is one of your more wealthy areas in Eastern Kentucky, so you're going to see a lot of people wearing
they had a good crowd last year.
Yeah. So, I mean, anything can happen that night, but again, we're gonna say that John Harden wins that one. Thursday, UHA plays Campbell County at noon. I think UHA probably has the edge in that one.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Nah,
Are you gonna go with Campbell County?
I'm not gonna say who. I'll make a pick, but
okay.
Campbell County put us out in overtime in the region semifinals in a great game, and they have a couple kids. They are one of the more fundamental teams that you're gonna see play. Coach Russell has been in the state tournament with Campbell County numerous times. He was at Newport, so he's got experience. They've been there before. They've got a good staff. They've got, Joel Day, who's their point guard.
Yeah.
You're going to see him come out on the floor, and obviously he's got a tough matchup because Kiki's the point guard at University Heights, and he's got all the pub.
I just love Kiki. I have all year.
Right,
So.
but Joel Day, he is a legit good high school basketball player.
Right.
Campbell County, the type of style that they play is a lot different than the type. They're going to sit down in a half court, they're going to execute, they're going to run a lot of sets, and they're going to try and score on you. Whereas UHA, they're going to try and. So I think, honestly, if Campbell County shoots the ball the way they did in the regional tournament, they'll win.
Well,
University Heights obviously has the best player.
If there was a contest between best mascot, I would go with Campbell County anyway.
The Camels versus the Blazers,
Yeah.
But now this is what we talk about. Kids have moments.
Yeah.
And Kiki had a moment in the regional tournament and got his team to the state tournament.
Does he have another one in him?
Well, and this is where you separate yourself.
Yeah.
We've talked about Kiki being a favorite for Mr. Basketball next year, along with the likes of Michael Moreno, Dante Allen, and other kids. But this is a chance for Kiki to really cement himself. I don't know if you saw it, like Kyle Perry, Travis Ford, Rick Stansberry. A lot of these guys were at his regional tournament games, watching him play. So he's got some big time offers.
Can you imagine how many people were in that building because Cal was in the house?
Oh
my gosh, unreal.
Woo. Anyway, I'm not a Cal Perry fan. I'm not afraid to say it. Anyway,
I don't think anybody really.
I'm gonna go with Campbell County.
Are you?
I am. 10th region, pride right here.
So UHA and Campbell County, all right.
Yeah. Are you gonna go with UHA?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, all right.
Well, just because I love Kiki.
Right, and I do too. I got nothing but respect for the man.
So second game.
It would be.
Oh, it's down.
Yeah, this is where they flip flop the
times.
times.
Yeah, they flip flop the bracket. Fern Creek and Boyd County on Thursday.
Yeah.
Boyd County, how about them?
Beat
Beating
Ashland.
Ashland. And I think we said Ashland kind of all season long, didn't we?
Well, they played 5 times.
I know.
And Boyd County won 3, so best of 5 series, you know.
I'm
Congrats to
proud.
Boyd County. I know Coach Anderson. He's a very good guy. He's been there. You know, they haven't been back to the state tournament in forever since Zorns was coaching. You know, it's
Right.
been a long
Boyd
time.
County, fun fact, sent their girls and their boys to
Yeah.
the state tournament this year, and their girls made it to the final
Semifinals,
four.
yeah.
So that's big. Congrats to
Fern
Coach
Creek-
Fraley on that one.
Fern Creek, we've talked about this all year. You know, they
Yeah.
won the King of the Bluegrass. They were at the highest of highs. They kind of flattened out, but they won by 1 point in the regional finals
Yeah.
against J-Town.
Mhm.
Coach Schuler's, you know, they got the 2 guards, Price, and they got Wells. You know, the Rogers kid is good too.
Yeah.
I think the most unsung player for them is Clint Wycliffe. He's their big man. He plays down low.
Yeah.
He's just a grinded out, you know, hard nosed. He's playing. I think he's more of a 3 or a 4, but
Right.
he's the biggest kid they got, so
Mhm.
he's an undersized 5.
Right.
But he plays hard, and when you play hard, you can get a lot done at the
That's
high school
true.
level. So I think Boyd County's had a good year. They shoot the ball well. You know, they play hard. They're
Getting to the state
scrappy.
tournament's huge
Yeah.
for them, and you don't want to be that way about it either. I think a lot of times in your 13th through your 16th region, just getting there is enough.
Mhm.
But you know, everybody wants to go and make noise. But for Boyd County to just have their first, you know, state tournament berth in forever, you know, that's good. I think that they'll fall to Fern Creek this year, but
I do
I
too.
think
I think
they'll be
Fern
back. I
Creek-
think they'll be back again.
And Fern Creek got to state semifinals last
Yeah.
year, and they did graduate some guys, but they have the nucleus
They had
of that
guys
back.
waiting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and they got, you know, Wales and Rogers. Those guys played the state
Right.
tournament last year, so I'm going to give Fern Creek the advantage on that one. And that's our second game of the afternoon session
Yeah,
on Thursday.
and then so second session we got first game is Oldham County and McCracken County.
Yeah, Oldham County, you know, we talked about in the 8th region. We talked about Walton some this year. We talked about, you know, South Oldham made a run at it too. But Oldham County's they've been the top of that region all year long.
Yeah. So I don't think anybody was surprised that they
No,
did.
I don't think so
And
either.
it's good that they did.
They
But
did.
I think that we all just kind of
Yeah,
Expected.
I think they have a good matchup. I don't think that there's a favorite in this game.
Mm.
A lot of people, you know, McCracken County's a newer school. They've only been around 5 or 6 years. This is their second trip to the state tournament.
Right.
Coach Brower does a great job. He was at Heath High School
yeah.
before, and that was one of the schools that consolidated it to making it, you know, McCracken County's now the biggest school in that region. They've done a great job all year. They haven't played much outside of the western part of the state,
Right.
so you don't hear much about them. But they're a quality team. I think it's a really good matchup. I think the two teams are very similar.
I like 8th region basketball anyway. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
we
similar.
talked about
it's,
that.
It's a
Similar.
similar playing style
Yeah.
to what you see in the mountains. Kind of a lot of guard basketball, running and gunning, not a lot of set plays. You know, or a lot of defense.
Right.
You know, hold the ball, guard the ball. You know, I like it. A lot of people don't. They like more style and.
Yeah,
Quicker
I
games.
think it's a great matchup. I think that's another game that'll come down to the last half of the first quarter,
I think-
fourth quarter that
I
will be
think so, too.
decided. I don't really know. I can't. I think that's a pick'em game. I think I'll just go with you pick and I'll go opposite you. Just
Okay, I'll go with Oldham County.
Okay, I'll
so
go
you
with
with
McCracken.
All right.
The Mustangs.
And the final game on Thursday, it's at 8 o'clock, Apollo and Cubcath.
Yeah.
I'm excited just because Cubcath student section is back.
I want to say something. CJ Frederick, who we've talked about, signed with Iowa.
Yeah.
He actually was named the Kentucky Gatorade Player of the Year this week.
Oh, very cool.
Usually, sometimes that comes out after Mr. Basketball or before.
Yeah,
but
I didn't know they'd already announced
They
it.
did. I just showed up on my Twitter feed. I didn't know either. But so congrats to CJ. And then maybe Tuesday he'll be
Great
Mr.
job.
Basketball, or we might
Maybe.
have another year where we have opposites. You know, it's tough. But
You had so many kids that were like just in that top 5 though.
yeah,
Like,
it was very top heavy this
Yeah,
year.
it could be anybody.
It could be. I'll be interested to see
On
Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah,
But anyway, Apollo kind of, you know, we're talking about a team that was a 4 seed in their district.
Yeah.
We did say, I will give us credit though, we did pick that whoever won that district, that somebody from that district was going to come out. I
We
don't
did.
think we thought it would be Apollo.
No, we really didn't think it would be Apollo. I'm not trying to pat us on the back.
No.
Because we really didn't even talk about Apollo very
Right,
much
we
this season.
didn't, no.
So my apologies for that, but congratulations on making the Sweet
Yeah.
16.
Good luck, and now you get to face one of the top 3 teams in the state.
Yeah, and the number 1 student section in my heart.
Yeah. I guess I'll go with Cubcat. I think they're just better.
Okay.
I
yeah.
think Cubcat's the team that is going to make a run in that bracket.
Yeah, for sure. They've been up there all year long.
But can you imagine Cubcat Fern Creek second round game? Be a good one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
It'd be a really good one.
I'd like to see that.
So-
So that's our preview for the week coming up. John and I have some great news. We've been given permission to go live before games, during halftime, and at the end of games. So you'll see maybe not me and John every time. We'll throw a couple of guests in and we'll do some game analysis, kind of give you an update on what's going on. So make sure you're, checking our Twitter, because we're going to have these little live periscopes on our Twitter feed the whole time during state tournament. And we're going to try to do like a short 30-minute podcast every evening after the state tournament games. That way we can kind of
Before Kayla goes to high.
before I go to the high. You can find me there. So between sessions, afterward, all the above.
All right. If you see us this week, give us
Say
a shout.
hey. You'll generally find us walking around with somebody who's almost 7 foot tall. So
You will be for sure. I'll be around up and down with a bunch of different people. I enjoy
yeah, because he's too cool for school.
I'm not too cool. I just like to see, I don't get to see people during the year. And now
Me
it's
either.
like,
Well, people like us, I think, feel like it's a little bit of a family reunion because we get to see those coaches throughout the state that we don't get to see normally, and all of our friends kind of meet and go there. That's why it's not necessarily that I love the hype, but it's just that's where everybody kind of convenes. So I get to say hey to all those guys that I've not seen in forever.
I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people.
I'm a little bit of a bro anyway, so I'm not really. I don't hang out with females, so you'll see me just hanging out with all the coaches that I know.
You'll see Kayla hanging out with Keith Belcher all week. He's another big tall guy. She likes those tall guys.
Thanks, John. But that's it for the week. I think we're getting ready to be on Cameron Mills Radio too, but you guys will have already heard that by the time we put our podcast out. Again, make sure you follow the Kentucky All-Star Twitter. It's at KY All-Star Game. JR's doing a fantastic job with giving you a little bit of history and keeping you connected with people that played in the All-Star Game.
Right. Coach Shock came on earlier on the show and talked a lot about what we're doing.
Yeah, the changes. We brought back tryouts.
Which
needed to happen.
We brought back tryouts. We're trying to get more publicity
Yes.
for the game. We don't want to see it to go away.
No.
And it's been kind of on our end, at least on the Kentucky side of it. It's been on its dying legs.
Yeah, it was hanging by a thread last year.
But I think we got it going in the right direction.
I think so too.
But yeah, so come on out this week's state tournament. Give us a shout. Good luck to your favorite team.
Yeah, you'll kind of see us hanging out in the white chairbacks in the lower part of the arena because that's where media gets to sit. So,
Yeah.
So if you see us, come say hello.
Yep.
And this year we're getting Rupp Ice Cream trending on Twitter. So hashtag Rupp Ice Cream.
I'm gonna try and keep it under 6 this year.
Under 6?
Too much.
JR is eating 7 at least.
Well, that's good for JR.
One time we had a poll of how many he would eat, and
You go for 10 this year?
he's going for 10.
Wow.
Okay.
He's
So
feeling himself because his herd got to the NCAA tournament, so he's feeling himself. I got a text last night. I just want to throw this out there. The last possession of the game,
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh gosh, I can't watch." And Kayla said, "JR is actually standing up."
Yeah.
So I knew the excitement was real. That
Yeah.
JR had gotten out of his chair, and standing up. So.
He was standing up and he was like holding his back. 'Cause
Oh,
that's what he does when
man.
he's worried. He's
Yeah.
like, you should have seen it.
Well, I was the same way. I was deep breaths.
And he was kind of like pacing back and forth.
It was a good game. I'm glad it wasn't a blowout.
We actually
It was a fun game.
We got to watch the game with King Kelly last night.
Oh, here we go. Can't go 1 week without a King Kelly reference.
No, we can't.
Like actual King Kelly or your cat that you named King Kelly?
His name's King Kitty.
Whatever. It's terrible.
No, actual King Kelly. He's old people are my best friends. I don't know. I love King Kelly. I can't help it. But it was pretty cool for him to be cheering for Marshall. For JR.
No,
So,
hey, I got it's funny because earlier in this week we had a phone conversation and I said, tell JR to enjoy watching Marshall for the last part this week, and he said right back, enjoy watching Western season. And I don't think either one of us thought that it would be the matchup in the finals that it was. So.
Well, we didn't think either one of them would win.
I was expecting Middle Tennessee and Old Dominion.
And then they
in the
got
finals,
knocked out.
Both of them got knocked out.
So
yeah.
that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Marshall made it to the NCAA tournament for the first time in how many years?
31.
31.
Something like that.
Yeah, since
It's been
87.
a while, yeah. So congrats to them. I hope they don't draw Kentucky.
I hope everything goes well for y'all on your selection Sunday too. So
That's right.
all right. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys throughout the week. Make sure you keep a close eye because we're going to have some great coverage.
That's right.
Later.